everyone, Kira here with Polymer Clay TV, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really pretty and simple napkin ring for holiday decorating, because you know the holidays are coming up, and these make a great gift. They're so easy, they're flexible after baking, so you can use a thicker or thinner napkin, even a paper napkin, or you could even stick your silverware in there. It's so pretty. So you're just going to need a few simple supplies. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you never miss a free tutorial. And don't forget to check out polymerclayadventure.com for the adventure of a lifetime, where you get 22 teachers, 24 classes, and a whole year of fun. So let's get started. Here's what you're going to need to work on this project. I have a border cutter. This is from our Circles and Squares set of border cutters. And I have some clay. This is the piece that's going to be used to create the napkin ring itself. So it's rolled to a number 1, which is the thickest setting on my pasta machine. And then I have some colors for leaves and flowers, which are rolled to a number 3, which is a little bit thinner. These are all, I'm using Sculpey souffle clay because it's really cold here. We're about to get hit by the polar vortex, and this is a good clay to use when it's cold out because it doesn't take a lot to get it conditioned. I also have some Pearlex for coloring. These colors are Super Bronze and Antique Copper. And then here I have some, this is a tool. This is a flattened toilet paper roll. And then I have the henna plunger cutter. This is the large one. I have the medium and small veined leaf, and I've got the clover flower set. So I'm going to show you how to use those, and more importantly, I'm going to show you an alternative how to use your plunger cutters. So I'm going to set these colors aside while I create the actual napkin ring. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this apart. So these go together and come apart really easily. All you do is just pop out the spring and then let the inner part fall out. And I want to use this as sort of a stamp, just to get this fun pattern impressed on here, because I like it. So I'm just going to sort of free-form stamp it as if it were a rubber stamp. So this is a way to get more bang for your buck out of your cutter sets. If you like the design, you can just use it as you would use any other rubber stamp and just sort of push it around. I'm going to just randomly do this because of how I want this to look in the end. I'm going to release it from the background before cutting, and then I'm going to, these are really easy to use, just lay them on, press them in. Pull off the extra. And then you can decide how you want to do this. If you want it to, if you want to go the other way with it, or I'm actually going to make it look like, you'll see in a second what I'm doing. I'm going to cut it the same exact direction so that the whole thing is like scallop shaped. Like that. Alright, and then I'm going to take my clay blade, which is just part of your basic toolkit, and just trim up the edges. Everybody needs a clay blade. You can get them almost anywhere that sells polymer clay. It's just a regular straight blade. Alright, so now I have the scalloped edge that's going to be wrapping around this and creating the actual napkin ring. And I'm going to move this onto a tile now because as you bake these, as you're working on them and stuff, you don't want to mess with it too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay it on here, and you'll notice I'm not going to attach them together because basically it's just going to spiral around a napkin. And this type of clay has like a really nice memory. I'm going to just mess around a little bit with how it goes, but it has a really nice memory, so it kind of springs back into shape after baking. I'm going to bake it right on here. So now I'm going to make some leaves using my plunger cutters. Just put that there, press down, and release. And these are great because they let you sort of make the shape and get the design all in one. And I like odd numbers, so I'm going to make 5 and see how it goes from there. Put those on there in a minute. Set those aside and make some flowers. Let's get my green scrap off my background here so that my flowers don't get green in them. Okay, and I'm just going to go a little thinner. As I was touching that, it felt like it was too fat for a flower. So, alright, so it's a number 4 on the pasta machine. So I'm going to cut, press, wiggle, and release. Okay, and then my thought process here was going towards possibly having the center of the flower be this other color. So let me just see how that's going to look. And I've chosen the complementary colors of this really pretty turquoise and orange, burnt orange. I'm going to do the smallest flower in the orange color. And see how that got stuck inside the cutter? That's exactly why we really love these plungers, because it pops right out. So I'm going to do some decorating with my powders. My favorite way to do this is to sort of tap some into the lid, get it all over my finger, and then rub it on the high spots. And you see how that really brings out the design that I poked onto there with the henna cutter. And you're going to want to do this all the way, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it while it's flat. Make it a little easier on myself than trying to work on that curved surface. When you decide, you can put different colors, you can decide to put a whole lot of powder or just a little. It's up to you. I tend to be sparing with it and just touch it gently to the tops of the designs. Alright, I'm going to leave that one open and get my copper out because I think that the copper is going to look really good on... And keep some rags around your studio for wiping off your fingers and stuff. I think the copper is going to look great on these blue flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and dress them up with copper. Just let the blue show through in the cracks and stuff. I'm not going to be very precise about it, and I'm also not going to do the middles, because the middles is where I'm going to press them together. Okay, and then I am going to use this one in the center. And I'm going to use one of my favorite tools to get it on there. This is my Etch and Pearl from Sculpey. And just sort of push it and twist, and you get this nice thing that really accentuates the center of the flower. And then I'm going to go ahead and touch a little more copper onto these. Really bring it all together. And then take this up off my background. It's a really pretty flower. And wrap it back around this for baking. So I'm going to wrap it around, set my flower on here, and I'll be able to push it on because I can get my finger inside of there. And then you can use your tool again to really press and make sure everything's sticking together. And now I'm going to set my leaves around here where I want them. And again, liking the paper towel tube because I can get my fingers up inside of it to press against. Right? Definitely cover the sort of edge there with the leaf. Okay, and then I'm going to touch the leaves a little bit with some more powder. Sometimes it'll look funny if you've got sparkly powders on one part of your design but not all over. So just, pay attention. Make sure that you're bringing everything together by keeping the same colors sort of flowing around the design. And then a little bit of copper also, maybe down the centers of the leaves. There we go. Alright, and now I'm going to bake it on this tile. And when it pops out of the oven, I'll be able to put a really nice napkin in there and use it for decorating the table.